Hello and welcome to another episode of We Talk, and welcome to the month of December. It is officially the festive season, so you can hang out your Christmas decorations with absolutely no shame. We don't judge, and we judge even less about the love of Christmas here on We Talk. So in today's episode of We Talk, we are going to have a look at the Documents Warehouse's Brainery Academy that they will be launching soon, or will be launching for the year soon. And as always, we have a new segment, a life hack and a recommendation, because what can I say? 'Tis the season. We'll be right back with the news. And in our news for today, we are starting with an update on a company that is very controversially present in Namibia, that is Recon Africa. So although the share prices for Recon Africa dropped to $2.06 on the 6th of November, and a week later dipped below the $2 mark, where it has been hovering ever since, according to Yahoo Finance, the Canadian gas and oil exploration company Reconnaissance Energy Africa, that is Recon Africa, which has been controversially exploring for oil in the Kavango region for the past 2 years, has now filed another application based on which it wants to drill more test wells. Recon Africa had announced earlier this year that it would need further capital if it was to continue after drilling the third well at Makandia and completing the second phase of their seismic surveys. How the company envisions capitalizing remains unknown, as does the possibility that it has reserves after all. That the Namibian government has long since ceased trying to keep its promise to only allow Recon Africa to drill 2 exploration wells in the Kavango region, following advertisements in various media. According to the advertisement, the equally controversial company Risk-Based Solutions, or RBS, on behalf of Recon Africa's Namibian subsidiary Reconnaissance Energy Namibia, or REN, now calls on the public to submit their objections and comments before the 16th of December 2022. The application is for an environmental compatibility certificate for the drilling of several exploration and reconnaissance wells with associated infrastructure such as prospect pits, access roads and related services in the Kavango sedimentary basin. While Bennett Kaure, the Director of Parks and Wildlife Management in the Ministry of Environment, is awarding the Chairman of the Association of Game Reserves and Communal Forests in the Eastern and Western Kavango regions the title of Best Conservationist for 2022, his colleague, the Namibian Environment Commissioner, is now to issue another ECC for the highly controversial oil exploration in this conservation area. Recon Africa is also no longer beating around the bush, having applied for permission to drill several wells in the Kavango region. Priority is given to 4 drill sites specifically. So you can check out our website, that is we.com.na, for more on the story and details on these specific wells. And then in our second story for today, the Namibian Police Chief Inspector General Joseph Shikongo said that just over 10,000 members were employed by the Namibian police by the middle of November, adding that around 800 members were employed by the force when it was established on the 26th of November 1990. By 2016, there were more than 17,000 members, but due to a high turnover rate and the absence of replacement, this number was drastically reduced, and by mid-November, the number stood at only slightly more than 10,000 police officers. The international target rate is of 1 police officer per 90 citizens, but with a national estimated population of 2.5 million in Namibia, this is a challenge with only 1 police officer for every 250 citizens. Nevertheless, Shikongo said that NAMPOL can still deploy manpower where it is needed, but they also benefit from its established air wing, the criminal investigation unit, and the special field force together with the special reserve force. In the 2021 to 2022 financial year, 98,640 criminal cases were filed with the police. That is 7% more than in the previous financial year. Shikongo added that 165,604 cases were carried over from the previous financial year, and a total of 122,428 cases were concluded in the 2021 to 2022 financial year. at a completion rate of 46.3%. This means that 141,816 cases were transferred to this financial year by the year end of the 2021-2022 financial year. Shikonga referred to the revision of Nampil's 2017 to 2022 strategic plan, with which he wants to make his vision of the best police force in Africa and the world a reality. The development and management of human capital, the use of information and technology partnerships, and international cooperation will be given a priority, he says. As members of the police force, we will have to be accountable to the people that we serve. Our morality and behavior should never be called into question. That means we as police officers must strive to do the right thing, even if no one sees it, he concluded. And in our third and final story for today, we are still on a policing note, as the Ombudsman of Namibia, Mr. Basilius Diakua, has slammed the city of Windhoek for a decision to charge residents for police services. The municipality last week announced that as of 1 January 2023, requests for police assistance during racing events, sporting events and other events will be charged at $52.50 per hour, while a road accident report will cost 63 Namibian dollars. A statement obtained from complainants, witnesses and victims will be at 63 Namibian dollars per statement, it said. Diakua expressed disagreement with the decision, adding that if the public will be charged for those services, the city is missing the point. Police services are part of the core mandate of the government to provide these services to the public. In fact, for any nation, the backbone of the police service is very important. In no instance should we have a case of the government charging for these services, the Ombudsman said. According to him, if these services aren't free alongside healthcare and education, government isn't offering anything to Namibians. Health, water and education are not for free. So what is? It should not reach a point where we should pay for police services. This will then only be accessible to the wealthy who can afford it, and they will be the only ones protected from criminals. Diakua said that charging for police services is prevalent in developing countries because they can afford it, but added that Namibia is very much still far from that point. In Namibia, we cannot afford to rely on private security for our services. That would not be affordable for many of our people. Security in general is the government's responsibility and should not become a commodity that can only be offered to the rich. City police is not private. He added that residents already pay for these services through rates and taxes, and adding that paying double would be unfair. So that concludes our news segment for today. Be sure to check out our website at we.com.na, that is we.com.na, for all the latest news every single day from Windhoek and the surrounding communities. But we will be right back with the rest of your episode of We Talk.
Hi, I'm Chantal Claassen. I've recently joined the Document Warehouse team, and I am the Digital Sales Manager.
Hi, my name is Marlies Cohen. I'm the Chief Business Development Officer, also at the Document Warehouse.
The Document Warehouse is a leader in records and information management. We help local companies to digitalize. We do everything from training, hand-holding, offer a great product called M-Files, which is an intelligent information management system. So if you're looking to go from paper to electronic documents to actually using the information in your company to grow, then the Document Warehouse is able to help with everything from archiving, bulk scanning, using electronic documents, and making sure that the right people have access to the right information at the right time using M-Files. The Document Warehouse is a leader in records and information management. We help local companies to digitalize. We do hand-holding, and we help them through the entire process, all the way from archiving physical paper documents, bulk scanning, getting these documents to be electronic documents, and actually using M-Files as an information management system.
Okay, so this year the Document Warehouse launched the Brainery Academy, which is a 10-day free program where unemployed Namibians can apply to spend some time with our staff at the Document Warehouse. Okay. During this 10-day program, we make provision for transport as well as lunch. We also give them the opportunity to complete an M-Files online training academy, which we hope by attaining these certificates that when they apply for jobs as our clients who's also using mFiles, that they would have a better opportunity to get the job than other applicants.
mFiles is an intelligent information management system developed at the mFiles headquarters in Finland. And what this does is it helps you to manage your documents, your records, and your actual information so that the right people get access to the right information at the right time. In addition to that, it's got quite a number of features that allow you to automate workflows, create easier administrative processes, make sure that the right people see the right things, so that you can focus on what your business and organization does instead of pushing paper and administration. So that's what that system helps you to achieve.
Okay, so a lot of times businesses feel that records management is not that important, but in actual fact, records and paper and documents are the evidence that something happened. It's a currency of the company. It's very important, and therefore we try to, with the Academy, create awareness of what goes on in the world of records management and paper management and document management, and also why is it important for a company to know what they have and to know where it's stored and to know how to easily find it when and as they need it.
So when young people come in and they learn about using technology or a software, so they're improving their digital skills. So they might have learned a lot of things in theory, at university, etc. But this is really practical application where they get to implement the information that they've learned and learn a ton of new things. In addition to that, they get an opportunity to be exposed to a working environment. We know a lot of graduates graduated a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. They've never had an opportunity to generate an income, and now they get exposed to a working environment. They get to spend time with a digital solutions team. They get to shadow the MD. They get some tips and like one-on-one time to help them with their CVs, to help them become more employable and to showcase their skill sets. And of course, they get an opportunity to learn a product like mFiles, where if they apply to any of the clients that we work with that use that system, that definitely puts them a step ahead of the crowd. So really exposure, connecting with other young people that are on the same program at the same time, and sort of maintaining that community of young people that are willing to learn, that want to jack up their tech game, and really want to add and contribute by being an employed person that adds value to Namibia.
Okay. So of course we always have vacancies at the document warehouse, especially in our digital solutions department. We have currently, from all the candidates this year, we've chosen 5 candidates which were successful, and we showed potential in mFiles, and we showed potential in the willingness to learn. So we said, stay on, and we employed them, and they are currently junior solutions architects, and they are doing quite well. Unfortunately, we can't accommodate all the applicants, but we hope that when they leave, by learning some soft skills that it will help them to apply successfully or to be successful in their next job application. So to apply for the chance to attend to the Brainery for 10 days, you can contact brainery@documentwarehouse.com.na.
You've probably seen them everywhere. Just in time for festival season and Spotify Wrapped season, you can create a poster for your own personal music festival by visiting instafest.app. Here you will find a selection of your top artists and 3 different templates to customize your festival lineup poster to your specific tastes. Instafest also allows you to create a unique name for your festival and shows you a basic percentage, which rates how niche your music interests are.
I'm not sure that donor funding is in place for next year, but we, as I say, normally do release it about this time of the year. And I think it's important because I come across so many people really who don't have a an understanding of civil society and what it means, and of course it is sometimes a contentious term that is defined in different ways. So I think it does help for Namibians to get an understanding of the role of civil society to do this kind of assessment each year. So we just got a couple more people coming in. But the overall purpose of this sustainability index is to look at the pressures and dynamics affecting CSOs over time, in particular countries and across countries and regions. It's quite useful for the donor agencies and development partners in terms of assessing a country's civil society and its strengths and its weaknesses. I think it's useful for those who are interested in the building the capacity of civil society, because it does give an indication of the needs. And I think it helps CSOs, advocacy organisations to pinpoint and publicise issues in the legal and institutional environment that might be hindering CSOs' work. And also it can be used by civil society organisations to advocate for funding. And not just funding, but also just support and understanding, I think, from donors and others and politicians and so on. Have to get permission from the government. Quite a bureaucratic process, an 18-page application process for each research project. And you have to prove certain things, like that the research will be beneficial for Namibia and so on. While there might be need for controls on certain research, scientific research and research that affects the environment, the general research that we do, which is kind of political science type or just basic economics research, shouldn't be constrained in this way. So we have challenged the law. The government has said over a number of years it will listen to us and change the law, but the government changes things very, very slowly. So that is unresolved. It's still in the High Court. Expected to come back next year. But it remains a sort of shadow or black cloud hanging over civil society and academics and the research community. And one of the other problems with that particular piece of law is the definition of research is so broad. Basically, it's any act of inquiry is regarded as a piece of research. So even a child doing a secondary school project that might involve them surveying their neighbours in their streets, would technically constitute as research and have to have permission from the National Research and Science Commission. So that's why we've always struggled with the legal environment. We've always gone backwards, really, in the last few years, because that issue is never resolved. And then secondly, there's been growing concern among some civil society groups that government is moving towards what's happening in many other countries, which is seeking to register and control all civil society groups, and basically also what tends to happen eventually is then controls on their funding or limitations on their funding. So this is more of a sort of maybe a sort of negative interpretation of some of the things that have happened in the last couple of years. Recently there's been an attempt to revive the 2005 Civil Society Government Partnership Policy. And finally, I think through some workshops this year and consultations, that has now been ditched because it's such an old and inappropriate policy that doesn't really fit for the 2022 environment, that it wasn't really something that should be worked on now. And if there has to be a policy, then we should start something that fits with the current situation.
3, 2, 1.
The entertainment menu is wide and varied again this weekend. Already on the go is the annual Tourism Expo taking place at the SKW Fields in the capital until Saturday. Also on the go is the ever-popular Kazi Vibe Festival at the Stanley Norma Stadium, which continues until Sunday. On Friday at 6, 333, an exhibition by Alpheus Mvula opens at the Franco-Namibian Cultural Centre, and at 6:30, the Oranje Munt Mayoral Charity Ball takes place at the Recreational Club at the town. At 7, the NTC Windhoek Fashion Week takes place in the Narua Mall P3 parking garage, which also continues on Saturday. On Friday at 7, DJ Jazzy D from South Africa and Namibia's Gysi host an old school party at the Rehoboth Showgrounds. On Saturday, this duo also performs at Club Excess in Windhoek. On Saturday at 8, the Windhoek Farmers Market takes place at the Showgrounds, and at 9, there's a Pestalon pop-up Christmas market at 14 Diesel Street in Windhoek. At 5, and as part of the Tsumeb Copper Festival, Ethnics, DJ Castro, One Blood and several other local artists perform at the JP Ratledge Stadium in Tsumeb. At 7, SA's Wicked World performs live at the Sound Garden in Swakopmund, and to end off the weekend on Sunday, come in and relax in the tranquil garden space at the village in Windhoek while enjoying delicious food and lots more. All in all, there's a great weekend of Windhoek.
And with that, we have officially come to the end of another episode of We Talk. It was fantastic having you in our company. Remember that you can catch We Talk at 7 p.m. every single Thursday for all the latest in Windhoek and the surrounding communities, and your dose of inspiration, your dose of community news, your dose of life hacks and recommendations, because we all need them from time to time. Thank you so much for joining us. Please enjoy your festive season and please stay safe in the coming festive season.